Well, hi, how y'all doing today? Come on here today to tell you something about way back when I was a teenager. And I was reminded of this morning over a comment that I saw on something that I did on Facebook. It seems that there's a preacher on there that remembered me from back when I was like 14, 15 years old. Yeah. Long time ago. I used to belong to this church way back when, New Chapel Hill Baptist Church. It's right outside of West Monroe, Louisiana. I belonged to this little group, the little puppet things, and they were real popular back then of all denominations. Churches all over the states had them and places all over the world. But anyway, I belonged to this little deal. And they gave me this puppet, and I named him Oscar, and one of the voices in my head connected to Oscar. Oscar had a very unique personality. He was his own person. And sometimes Oscar would say things that I had no control over. So, that gives you a little background. Oscar, one Sunday morning, was invited by this preacher. His name is James Burns, and most people call him Jim. He asked me if Oscar and I would ad-lib the children's service. Just ad-lib the service, keep the kids' attention and say things that would make them remember the stories that was being told. So I said, okay, and Oscar said, yeah, I'm in. So we go by over there, and the little children's service is all setting up, and these are kids aging from range to 4 years old on up to 8, 9, 10. Like I said, I was about 14, 15 years old. And I got down behind the curtain, and I got my little puppet up there. Oscar's up there, and he got a pointed head and got a little blob of orange hair right on top of his head, and he's up there like this. And I had no idea what James Burns was going to be talking about that day. Well, he got talking about Jesus walking on the water. And he got to the part where he says Jesus stepped out of the boat, and he was out there walking on the water, and Peter said, well, how do you do that? How is that possible? And Jesus told him, said, if you have enough faith, you can walk on the water with me. So Peter stepped out of the boat. Peter's walking on the water with Jesus. And all of a sudden, Peter got a little doubt in his mind. He began to lose faith, and he started sinking in the water. And Jesus reached down and took him by the hand and brought him back up on top of the water. And the preacher says, and if Jesus hadn't have been there, Peter would have drowned. And before I could stop him, Oscar bursts out, if Jesus hadn't have been there, Peter would have never got out of the boat in the first place. Well, me and Oscar never got invited to ad-lib again.